for the the 2024 ICRC Kickoff Report. It is week number 4, and we find ourselves at Mariemont High School. Kyle Evans alongside Logan Dyer. Thrilled to be here, partner. We're here. Here it is. First conference game of the season for both these teams. So we're going to learn a lot about Indian Hill, and we're going to learn a lot about Mariemont tonight, because conference games definitely teach you a lot about your team.
They do indeed, and conference games set up the entire playoff picture. So we'll learn more about these teams tonight. We'll learn more about them now, and we'll
jump in. So let's talk a little bit about the history of this rivalry in terms of winning the CHL championship. It's been quite a while since Mariemont, won the CHL. 1996 was the last time that the Warriors won it, and then you can tell us when Indian Hill won it last.
Indian Hill coming off of last year, 2023 CHL champions.
So I think there's going to be some key players on both sides of the ball tonight. And, of course, we also want to mention that the Mariemont quarterback will not be playing tonight. He's injured. I believe he broke his arm is what I was told. So we can talk to Tom a little bit about that later. So how do you think that's going to kind of factor into tonight?
It's going to factor in tonight for Mariemont, the fact that they've got to figure out to go with the second-string quarterback, Indian Hill coming in. Definitely coming off of a huge loss against Harrison last week. They're going to be looking to bounce back this week.
And I want to talk about offensively. Let's talk about the Warriors, because Max Duckwall and Zachary Mayer, those are two guys to watch out for Mariemont. Duckwall, 43 attempts, 189 yards on the season. He has 2 touchdowns. And Zachary Mayer, 15 attempts for 53 touchdowns, for 53 yards on the season, and 2 touchdowns. He does not have 53 touchdowns, just 2. Yes, and then so some guys on the on Indian Hill that you think they need to look out for.
The Indian Hill Braves, Delvin Daniel, 66 attempts, 565 yards, 8 touchdowns. The Warriors need to stop him tonight.
And any other key players on Indian Hill's team? In terms of the game flow tonight, Mariemont, they run the ball a lot.
They do. They do run the ball quite well. They had last week against Harrison, they had 6 guys incorporated in the run game, 178 yards against Harrison. Delvin Daniel had 183 of those yards off 21 carries. Ethan Cole, George Vollmer, and Dylan Hartman all getting in the mix. So the run game will be strong tonight for Indian Hill.
We'll see how Mariemont deals with their quarterback. Of course, it's the first league game of the 2024 season here at Mariemont High School. Logan and I are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Tom Nerl, the Mariemont Athletic Director, going to join us up here on set. You're watching the 2024 ICRC Kickoff Report live from Mariemont High School.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up, to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5.
Okay.
Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Welcome back to Mariemont High School. Kyle Evans alongside Logan Dyer, Tom Nerl, the Mariemont Athletic Director, taking some time to join us. We appreciate it. Let's just start from the beginning. Kind of what got you into being an athletic director?
Oh, goodness. someone asked me if I wanted to be an athletic director. So I was a football and baseball coach at Purcell Marion. Started coaching baseball when I was a senior in college, and then refereed basketball. And then about 10 years in, the principal says, "Hey, you want to be an athletic director?" And I said, "Not really." And I said, "Okay." The next day, I went in and quit because I figured out how busy it was going to be. But 3 years at Purcell Marion, had a basketball team. Went to the state semifinals, and then took a 3-year break, came over here and taught math. And then Jeff Larson retired, and he said, "You want to do that again?" And I said, "Well, not really, but if you need someone, I guess I could do it." My kids are in junior high, so yeah, it was an easy transition. And you come to a place like Mariemont, you have great support, you have great facilities, and so you walk out of the school, you're on a tremendous field like this, you have great facilities, great community, great support, and so it's pretty easy. So that really is the true story of it. Not really looking at getting into it, but it just kind of fell into place, and have a quarter century later, it's been pretty good.
Just talk about what sports mean to high school kids, because it's more than just a game. There's obviously a lot of life lessons. Any stories or anything you want to talk about there?
There's a lot of kids. Sometimes the reason they go to school is because of sports. They get practice after school, the friendships, the camaraderie, the competition, and so that's a big part of what they do. And you hear the band behind us practicing here. We have a great extracurricular program here with the fine arts, with the orchestra and the chorus, and along with the athletic program that we have here. It just really adds to the spirit of the school. Like I said, I was a two-sport coach. I was a basketball official. I just always loved sports, played sports growing up. Still have some great friendships from those sports, and that's the whole thing about it. And if you go along the way and you win championships, it's kind of icing on the cake. But just the things you get from sports are a lot more than the things you put into the sports. So great life lessons. The national studies have shown 80% of people that are leaders in our country have played high school sports. The high school athletes have a lower dropout rate. They have a better attendance rate in their studies, and they have better grades. And so it's not a program by itself, but it's a program that complements everything that happens in the classroom.
Any student or teachers that you want to give a shout out to here at Mariemont or at another school?
Now you're putting me on the spot. But, there's a lot, but you look at what goes on here, and state report cards came out today. We got stars across the board again. We're a nationally recognized school of excellence, by the government, and we do a great job here. And so all of our coaches and our teachers do a great job here. And when we have kids, I watch a volleyball player every day. She's always got her nose on her iPad, and she's always doing her homework. And before a game, she's in the stands doing the homework. They're doing homework on the bus, and they're up late at night doing homework, but they get excellence, and we have national merit finalists and national merit semifinalists that are athletes on our teams, and they win those scholarships that way, and they have great, outstanding high school careers. And then if they want to continue their career, they have that opportunity. And if not, they go on to their life's work and their life studies, which is really a testament of that. And so we have a great teaching staff that works with that throughout the day, making sure they get their studies in, but also being cognizant of what they're doing on the field. Our golfers are going to miss days of school next week for the tournament, and then the sectional tournament after that, and they'll get their work in. The teachers work with them, so they do a great job. And our coaches, just the amount of hours our coaches put in with our athletes to improve our athletes, to help our athletes make their way through these 4 years that we have with them. They just do a great job, the time they take away from their family. So they all, I know it's a cop-out answer, but they all do a great job. I am very proud of the staff we have here in the classroom, on the fields.
You've been here a while. Any special memories in terms of, we talked off air about the lacrosse team, the success of them. Just kind of talk about them and making that trip to, that run to state.
Yeah, Steve Pearson, Kevin Ferry have built great programs here with lacrosse and have experienced great success. I think we got 8 titles, I think, between the two lacrosse teams, and they're consistently the top teams in the state. But 2021, the boys soccer team went undefeated and did that run, so that was great here because it was kind of a different kind of a different creature. It wasn't lacrosse, and so we got to do it in another sport. Going to the state finals with Purcell Marion back in the day in basketball. It's just you get into those different sports and the different environments they bring. And the Mariemont people come out. We get into postseason. They come out and they support the teams. So those are definitely great. There's always upset games. I don't want to jinx anything tonight, but I think 2 years ago, I think we pulled one off here, and so. We're kind of facing a stacked deck tonight. Quarterback's hurt, running back's banged up, guys are banged up early on. Indian Hill's got a big squad; they're on a roll too. So you never know what happens, and that's the fun thing about sports. You just roll them out. Our girls' soccer team right now, they're currently undefeated, and they're young, and they're having a great season. The boys are starting to pick up some momentum. Our golf team. They're going to play for the league title on Monday, so it's going to come down between them, Wyoming, and Madeira. So that's going to be fun. And the girls are going to try to defend their title in the CHL golf. So there's a lot of good things going on. But through the years, the people that their kids are gone, they still come back to games here. Yeah, there's a lot of them, and we've done a lot of fun things here. Like I said, to pull them out one at a time now, I think I would need a little prep work on that.
Right. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, if you were willing to stick around, we're going to pick some football games. You're watching the 2024 ICR Kickoff Report live from Mariemont High School. We're back with picks right after this.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Welcome back to Mariemont High School. Kyle Evans alongside Logan Dyer. Before we get into our picks, we're going to jump around the ICRC communities. We'll start with the Mason Comets, 1-2 on the season, coming in at sixth place in the GMC.
And the Lebanon Warriors, 2-1, playing 3-0 Anderson at home tonight.
Mount Healthy's 2-1 on the year. They defeated Wilmington last week, 19-13.
North College Hill, 0-2, looking for their first win of the season.
In the ECC, Milford 2-1 takes on Loveland, and Milford is sixth place in the Eastern Cincinnati Conference.
And of course, right here in Mariemont, Indian Hill 2-1, trying to win the CHL title 2 years in a row.
And Harrison undefeated on the season. They beat Indian Hill last week 49-19.
St. Bernard Elmwood Place 2-1. Titans are averaging 24 points per game.
And lastly, an upset in the GMC, Princeton defeating Lakota West last week 14-7. All right, now it's time to get into the funnest part of the show. We're going to do some picks. We got 8 games to pick here around the tri-state. We're going to go right to left, so Tom gets to go last. Normally the guest goes first, but Tom's going to go last. So we're going to start in the CHL with Wyoming and Madeira. I'm picking the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys have dominated this league for quite some time, but Madeira's 2-1. They can definitely put up some points, but I'm picking the Cowboys tonight.
I've got Wyoming as well. 407 total yards, 115 passing, 292 rushing yards, 17 first downs, 6 different rushers and receivers. Last week against Bethel Tate, I've got Wyoming over Madeira.
us off to a quick start, but so is Wyoming. You got to go with history with Wyoming. I'll take Wyoming by a field goal.
We're going to stay in the CHL. Taylor, 2-1, another surprise team this year, taking on 2-1 Deer Park. And I think for me, this is a toss-up game, guys. So I used to live in Deer Park before me and my wife moved to Coleraine. So give me the Wildcats tonight, Deer Park.
All right, and for Taylor and Deer Park, I'm taking Taylor. Taylor likes the running game, only 72 yards passing versus Woodward. Deer Park had an even workload last week with pass and rush versus Norwood. This game should be a good one. I'm taking Taylor.
You're wearing red and black, and you took Taylor. You got to go with the colors there. That's going to be a good one to watch tonight. So, but glad ICRC's here. I think we'll go with the Yellow Jackets on that one.
All right, we're jumping to the Eastern Cincinnati Conference. Winton Woods is now a Division I team. They were Division II last year. They're undefeated on the season. Chad Murphy has his squad rolling. They take on a pretty good Turpin team at 2-1. I'm going to go Winton Woods on this one. Warriors too much offensively, and we'll see how Winton Woods hangs around this year, especially at the D1 level.
And for this game as well, I'm going to go Winton Woods. My neighbor is actually from Turpin, right? He went to Turpin High School, and but Turpin last week versus Walnut Hills, only 124 passing yards, 221 rushing yards, 21 first downs, 8 flags for 80 yards. That's what kind of swayed my vote a little bit. So I'm going to take Winton Woods over Turpin.
The Spartans are 4 miles away from here. Winton Woods are big. They're fast. You have to go with the Warriors.
We're going to stay in the ECC. Again, Anderson, 3-0 on the season, taking on the Lebanon Warriors. Me and you saw them week 1, partner. Too much offensive power for Anderson. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Give me the Raptors tonight.
Same way here, Anderson over Lebanon. Anderson's put up 167 points only in 3 games.
Wow.
So 64-0 versus Little Miami. Lebanon's coming off of a tough loss to West Claremont, and they would want to get going early, but I'm taking Anderson over Lebanon.
And Anderson all the way.
We are switching things up. An interesting game that me and Logan talked about last week. Taft, undefeated, 3-0, taking on the Mount Healthy Owls. I'm going to go Mount Healthy here. I think Mount Healthy gets the win. Taft's a good team, put up some points last week, but I'm going to go upset. Mount Healthy wins tonight.
Taft's on a roll, winning all 3 games this season. 43-0 blowout versus Pleasures Park in Kentucky. 12-7 win over Chaminade Julian. We've heard that name, the school, a lot in the past couple of years. And 36-7 win over Alter. 208 passing yards and 160 rushing versus Alter. I'm taking Taft over Mount Healthy.
Yeah, Alter and Chaminade, those are 2 really good wins out of the GCL. I'll go with Taft as well.
All right, we're going to switch things up, head to the GMC. Princeton got a big win last week, but we're going to jump into Fairfield, Lakota West. Both teams are 2-1. Give me the Firebirds. I don't see Tom Bolton's squad losing 2 games in a row. Fairfield's a very tough team. Definitely going to contend for the GMC. Give me Lakota West.
I am actually going to take Fairfield over Lakota West. 120 points in the first 3 games. So I think they're going to keep that momentum going, and they're going to hand Lakota West another loss.
You guys are putting me on the tiebreaker again. So I don't know how many times Bolton's lost 2 in a row. I don't see him losing 2 in a row tonight. We're going to go with Lakota West.
All right, we're going to jump to McNicholas taking on Roger Bacon. Give me the Rockets. This year they've played each other past couple of seasons. McNick has been the more dominant team. I think Roger Bacon hangs around. I haven't picked many games by a score, but I'll say Roger Bacon or McNick wins. I'll say by a touchdown.
I'm actually going to go against the school that's actually my neighboring school, right? It's right next to my house. Roger Bacon. I'm taking Roger Bacon over McNick. McNick's coming off of a blowout win versus 31-2. But Roger Bacon's looking to bounce back after an OT loss against Hughes High School last week. Give me Roger Bacon.
You guys are killing me. Put me on the hot seat again with the game. I'll go with the Rockets. They're 5 miles from here, so we'll go with the Rockets tonight.
All right, now the game everyone's been. We are Mariemont and Indian Hill. I'm going to get things going. I'm going to go Indian Hill tonight. Mariemont doesn't have their quarterback. They don't have their running back. I think Indian Hill has too much offensive power. I think Mariemont hangs around for a half, but give me the Indian Hill Braves.
The Braves from Indian Hill traveling down to Mariemont for the Cincinnati Hills League Showdown. Both teams looking to start 1-0 in conference play. Obviously, you want to start 1-0 in conference play so you can keep it going. The Braves are coming off a huge loss versus Harrison last week, 49-19. Mariemont comes off of a 20-0 loss from Williamsburg. 120 total yards for the Warriors last week. The Braves had a total of 259 total yards versus Harrison. Indian Hill will rely on Delvin Daniel to have a huge rushing game. The Warriors will need to find a way to stop him and get some offensive going early. Give me Mariemont as an upset.
Going with Mariemont. I love what the man says. As Lee Corso always says, not so fast there, young man. So, hopefully Devlin Daniels is a little bit distracted today. He just got named, I think, the #1 prep player in Ohio for baseball. So congratulations to him. But, the game down here, it's youth football night here. Kurt Herbstreit never picks a game that he's calling. So in spite of that and everything else, I'll take the Warriors and the points. Warriors for the upset tonight. Never bet against our Warriors. So, guys, thanks for having me tonight. It's been fun. Thanks to everyone for joining us tonight. It's youth football. Come on out.
Thanks for joining us. This has been the ICRC Kickoff Report. Stick around. Mariemont Indian Hill kickoff at 7 o'clock. You can watch it on ICRC-TV.com, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll see you next time, everybody.
All right, our first item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A Freeze-On Mayor with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Himself inside the 10. Touchdown, Mariemont!
From the top of the key, Anna Habra ties the score.